Welcome to Impact Makers Radio, featuring industry thought leaders sharing problem-solving insights to help grow your business and live the life you love. And here's your host, Stewart Andrew Alexander.
Hi and welcome to another Let's Talk Divorce conversation. And on this segment of the show, I have family law and divorce attorney Helen Dukhan, co-founder at the HD Family Law Group PLLC in New Jersey, and they're also in New York. Now, among the many divorce-related skills that Helen has, she specializes in the area of divorce and family law, including child custody and visitation. And we'll be talking to you today about the importance of planning. Now, listen to this, planning prior to filing for divorce. So let's not keep her waiting any longer. Helen, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome, Helen. So can you, in your own words, briefly describe the people you serve and the kinds of situations they find themselves in when they come to you for help?
Sure. Our firm is solely practice divorce and family law. So we represent men and women of all different races, nationalities, all different walks of life who are going through family crisis. By family crisis, I mean either they've broken up from their significant other, who is the parent of their child or children, and now they're dealing with issues such as child support, visitation, and custody, or the husband or the wife has decided to get a divorce or has just found out their spouse wishes to get a divorce. Our main focus is representing individuals who really need someone on their side to guide them through a confusing and what could be an extremely anxiety-producing process, while representing their rights in their best interests.
Okay, so with that in mind then, Helen, what would you say is one of the most common misconceptions that you come across surrounding the importance of planning prior to filing for divorce?
I think the most common misconception of someone coming in seeking our representation for a divorce is that they can just jump right into it. A lot of attorneys will take advantage of an individual sitting in their office in family crisis or desperate to get out of a bad marriage and talk them into filing right away. They'll do drafting motions and get out of the gate running. And this causes the other spouse to become angry and defensive. It causes the other spouse to hide or spend assets. And it rushes you into court when you don't even know if you need court intervention. So while filing for a divorce may be appropriate for some in domestic violence, perhaps, or if addiction problems, or if it's in fact an emergency, most divorces are not emergencies. They should be carefully planned for.
Okay, so based on what you just shared with me then, Helen, and of course, unless you have permission to share names, dates, and places, please keep client confidentiality in mind. Could you share a case study or a short story, if you will, of how you've helped someone who came to you with those challenges you just described, and what kind of transformational results you were able to gain for them?
Yes, of course. I was approached by a woman who had been married for 20 years. Her and her husband had 3 children together, and as so many women do, she left her career and had worked as a mother for most of the marriage. Her marriage fell apart to the point where, even though they were all living under the same roof, the father didn't speak to them for over a year, not even to his children. It was very bad. She came to me with no money of her own, no resources, and I could have told her to file right away, that she needs to get out of the marriage and she needs to figure out a way to fund litigation and get going. But as a parent to whom the integrity of family and best interests of the children is paramount, and as someone who's been doing this for many years, I've come to realize that planning makes all the difference. So that's just what we did. We made her a plan, and over the next 6 or 7 months, she arranged funds, she found alternative housing, she educated herself with our assistance with regard to all of the finances of her family, she collected all financial documents. We were literally able to put her in a position of knowledge and control prior to filing. Also, because I've been representing individuals through divorce for so long, I was able to figure out her financials and sort of foresee her future, calculate how much she needs to live, how much she can realistically expect to get, prepare her how her future will look once the divorce is finalized. Once she was ready, we filed an emergency motion. She was granted more support than she ever expected. We were able to answer all the judge's questions off the bat. And most importantly, she was empowered and strong. And the case moves on much quicker than if she had just jumped into it. You know, a lot of professionals and advisors, consultants and coaches claim to be able to do this, but they've never stepped foot in a courtroom. So they don't realistically know what to expect as an outcome of a divorce. So due to the strategic planning, we were able to educate her, empower her, and have her make confident decisions about her path.
So Helen, share with me then, for somebody who's planning to file for divorce, share with me some of the most, or let's say just one of the most common unknown pitfalls that they may not be aware of, but should definitely be aware of.
I think one of the main pitfalls that my clients come into the office is that the court's going to protect them. They come in with this idea that if they're not the moneyed spouse and they've been at home, the court will automatically give them child support, spousal support right up front. They'll get counsel fees. You know, I don't know if they've been told this by other attorneys, but it's just not the reality. Most often than not, if you just jump into a divorce without the pre-planning and you get there and you have none of your financials ready, you have nothing to show the judge, no proof, they're not going to just give you support right off the bat. They're going to wait until, you know, you've been through litigation or even worse after trial, which could take months and months, even years. And you've jumped into a divorce you're not financially prepared for, which puts you at a severe disadvantage. That's why we have a team with us that works with us, accountants, mediators, financial planners, forensic accountants, child psychologists, therapists, because you also have to be emotionally prepared for all of this. We have pension consultants, PR professionals for clients who require such assistance to help you prepare and prepare to prove that you deserve the support and don't have to wait for it.
So based on what you just shared with me, you have a total 360-degree approach to helping your clients, right?
Absolutely. We start off with them. We plan for them. We get them through it. We are their support. We're their representation. And at the end of it all, we help them celebrate, Stewart.
And do you I mean, I feel your passion coming through, but in your own words, and share with us, how do you feel every day when you get up to help these people who find themselves in the unfortunate situation of having to go through a divorce? How do you enjoy that?
It's always been my passion. You know, our motto at HD Family Law Firm is nothing says a good day like a divorce. And we're not being funny or because the process isn't difficult or long or super expensive, but because our clients, when it's finalized and they're free and they're empowered, it's an amazing experience, and we really love our job.
So that's actually a good segue into my next question then, Helen. I'm sure for someone who sat out there now listening to this conversation, they'd want to know a little bit more about you. Who is the person behind the voice and behind all of these great skills? So if you could briefly tell us a little bit about yourself, and especially in terms of your background, your education and your experience as it relates to the topic of divorce.
Sure. Well, I'm first-generation American. My parents moved to Michigan, actually, from Russia, and I grew up there. They've happily been married for 46 years. And growing up, I was really bothered by how many of my friends' lives were just turned upside down because their parents were getting horrible divorces. So while attending the university in Michigan, I interned for a program called Friend of the Court, where attorneys would volunteer their time to families in crisis, divorce and custody and visitation cases. And I guess I found my calling. So I moved to New York for law school and worked for an amazing family and divorce attorney during my entire time in law school. And thereafter, I obtained my LLM, which is an advanced legal master's degree in matrimonial and family law from one of only 3 of such programs in the country. And after 2 years of working for a law firm as a family and divorce attorney, I just decided that, I really wanted to follow my passion on my own terms, and I went off on my own and created the law offices of Helen Dukhan. And thereafter, I met an amazing, also family and divorce attorney. Her name is Despina Hartophilis, and we co-founded HD Family Law Group. We've been recognized by super lawyers, top 10 under 40 by National Academy of Family Law Attorneys, top 40 under 40 family law attorneys in the state of New York. All we've ever both done is represent family and divorce cases. We both practice in family court and Supreme Court, and it's just really our passion at HD Family Law Group.
Now, it goes without saying, Helen, that everything that you shared with us so far today is not legal advice. So with that said, I'd just like you to just close your eyes for a second and picture the kind of person who comes to you for help and who wants to know about planning prior to filing for divorce. So with that picture in mind then, Helen, what would be your absolute best tip to that person listening right now?
Our best tip to the person is to find an attorney or divorce attorney or family law attorney who isn't rushing you, who, when you come in, is on the same page as you, who believes that their job is not to bill you, but to get you through a process that can be very, very, very stressful. Now, our firm is known as the firm of happy divorces because that's just what we do. My number one tip is to just plan, to make sure that the attorney isn't rushing you into court, to make sure that that attorney does have professionals that they work with. They have accountants, they have financial planners, they have a person they can recommend as a therapist, or simply, they have the wherewithal to help you plan, to foresee your future to a certain degree, to know what you need, to help you collect your information, your financial documents, to just be educated and aware. So when you step foot into court or when you're trying to settle, you're doing it with empowered and strong and confident about your choices.
Well, Helen, it's been a blast today. We are unfortunately out of time. So before you go, for anybody who wants to connect with you, anybody who wants to know more, how would they be able to find you? How could they reach you, Helen?
Well, we have a website. It's www.hdfamilylawgroup.com. They can email us directly at hd@hdfamilylawgroup.com or call us at 866-937-9990.
Well, thank you so much for everything that you've shared with us today, Helen. You've certainly proven that you certainly are an educator and advocate for the people who you work with. So thank you so much for sharing your time with us today, Helen.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. And also, in addition to that, thank you to you, the listener who is out there and joined us on this very insightful and informative conversation with one of the top family law and divorce attorneys in New Jersey and New York today. So with that said, again, my name is Stewart Andrew Alexander, and we'll be back shortly with some more leading divorce professionals in this, our series of Let's Talk Divorce Conversations. So until then, take care, have a great day, and we'll talk real soon.
Thank you for tuning in to Impact Makers Radio. To listen to all past, present and future industry thought leaders and trendsetters, visit us at impactmakersradio.com.